Good morning, everyone. Hopefully, you guys had a great Wednesday. Obviously, today is Thursday for those of you that are watching this afterwards. We're going to be talking about prepper communications. We're going to be talking about some of the generalities of prepper communications because it's a little bit more than just grabbing your handheld radio and saying, "All right." So before we get into that, let's go ahead and check the comments. Today, I'm going to start with the rumbles. My rumblers, looks like we got a handful of you guys in here today. Andy, good morning. First, Hicktown Honey, number 2, and, well, looks like it's just a big old conversation, Andy and Hicktown Honey. And, well, there's no turds in there. I don't know how. It's not possible. Rumblers, check in, brosifs, brosafinas, and, yeah, stop slacking. Let's see here. We're going to go on over to, I need to get rid of that banner, don't I? Let's get rid of that banner because we have begun. We're going to go over to the comments over on the YouTube side. Bucking Queen first. Bradley Collins, number 2. Let's see here. And Silent Warrior, you are deterred. Let's see. And there's actually some comments in here already. We got, who we got in here? We got Debbie. We got Star. We got Sal. We got Gibbsy. We got Catitude. We got Blaine. West Virginia Pappy, Miss Melody, I haven't seen you in a while, and Saul, there we go. Let's see, does anybody know of an equivalent of Jace Medical? There are several companies out there, but I do endorse Jace Medical. They do have the best stuff. I hate to say it. They've been around the longest. When that whole thing came out and they started providing medications to everybody, it's an extensive list. And then you've got, what is it, Jace Daily, where you can buy your real medicines. Let's see here. Sorry, my window didn't refresh. All right. So, what do we got going on in the chat here? Turned on the notification. We'll see if it works this time. Yeah, I hope so. Let's see. Bradley says, and the notification does nothing for me on here unless I'm looking at my phone the exact time it pops up. And if you stay here, the timer will run out, but you will have to refresh once Laugh Out Loud starts. I got you. Yeah, Rumble's a little weird, but obviously YouTube has got that thing locked in pretty well. What we got here? Oh, you're in the EU. No, I don't know, man. You guys have so many regulations over there. I don't even know how to recommend. I mean, I know you can get Jace Case in Canada, but I don't even know where to start if you're talking about the the EU. Wow. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. Obviously, the first thing I always talk about is PrepStock, prepstock.net. Guys, go there, get your tickets, show up. I made a video on Clapper yesterday, and it's got over 1,000 hits already. People are coming. People are into this, getting free stuff, as part of you showing up. Nebo, North Carolina, October 12th through the 13th. It's going to be good stuff. It's over a long holiday, so I don't want to hear any excuses about, I'll never get home for work. We have people driving that I know of right now from Ohio, from Texas. Oh my God, that's going to be quite a drive, young lady. It is going to be a one-of-a-kind, super unique event that we hope will be reproducible next year. We just haven't been, we're looking at a different venue. We're looking at a few different things here and there. But yeah, overall, the same. All right, it looks like West Virginia Pappy has become omnipresent on us, which is always fun. So everybody should be taking a sip of their coffee. All right, before we get started, guys, I'll start talking about this. And what I need you to do is let's start with waking up the chat. Do me a favor, guys. Put something in the chat. Normally, it's just the number 1. It'll wake it up. It'll tell the algorithm that we are here to play. While you're doing that in support of the channel, which I appreciate it, don't forget that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you've never subscribed before. I try to do this 5 days a week and obviously videos. Today, a little bit of heads up. Today, I will be working on the video review of this Bofang radio. I keep throwing it in front of you because I keep being too lazy to make videos, because now I have a kind of a job, for lack of better words, and it's sucking up all of my time. I probably am going to knock out at least 2 videos today, and we'll definitely get this radio video uploaded today. Also, if you're not a Patreon, that video is going to be so I show you what's in the box. But the end of the video is going to be, and guys, oh, by the way, if you're a member of the Patreon, then yeah, you could win it because I'm going to give it away. Let's see here. Also, I let the Patrons know this morning that I found Courtney finally got back to me with her address for the 12-piece survival kit. That goes in the mail today, Courtney, if you're watching this either later or right now. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. I got my cough drop in so I can talk a little bit. I'm seeing you guys supporting me over there. Excuse me, with all your ones. And let's roll into this. I think I need some more coffee. As usual, I'll talk about one particular portion of the main subject, and if you guys could comment during that time period, I will address those questions or read those things off to you in between each section. All right, so the very first one, you know, we're preppers, guys. So preppers, they often rely on a very diverse methods of communication. They do this so that, you know, they can ensure that they stay informed. Information is key, right? And coordinate with others in various emergency scenarios, you know. And so what I've done is I've made this list. I'm kind of doing. Hopefully you guys are liking this, you know, the 10 things thing that I'm doing now. But I've made a list of 10 things that are the top 10 ways that preppers communicate. So first and foremost, guys, listen, two-way radios. It's just that easy. Walkie-talkies, ham radios, you know, all sorts of stuff. But when we start talking about the handhelds, you know, these are radios that are used for short distance communications. They're typically within a few miles, and they're useful for family members or small groups because they're completely portable. No FUX. I'm not saying it, man. You're going to change your name. You want me to say your name, but welcome to the channel. Let's see here. And then obviously there are ham radios, you know, flat out hams. These are, you know, these are operated on the amateur radio frequencies. They're used for longer distances, and you can connect with other ham radio operators during widespread outages. You know, we talked about radios yesterday a little bit, and how you can actually get information by just tuning them to the NOAA frequency that covers your area. So, you know, when we say walkie-talkies, that could be anything. That could be an FRS radio. It could be a GMRS radio. I mean, it could be MERS. I mean, or it could be a flat-out handheld ham, you know, like a UV5R or UV5 whatever, you know. UB97 Golf Echo Tango Foxtrot. Don't forget the Niner. And but in the section of two-way radios, preppers love their radios, and for reason why, because when this all goes down, you know, when these things quit working, and they do from time to time, and we're actually going to talk about them a little bit in the next section, then the radios pretty much they become kings. They become kings. So I'm going to go to the chat right now. I'm seeing there's some stuff on the YouTube side here. Let's look. Looks like Big Prepper. Good morning, my friend. I have a Bowfang 25L with two 3-foot folding antennas and a 50-foot coax antenna extension cable as my mobile camp radio. I cut down tall, narrow trees and zip tie the cord and antenna to the extent. Yeah, exactly. There's actually a program. Matter of fact, I have a Patreon who is coming to Prep Stock and is going to be setting up a mobile station there, doing the same exact thing that you just talked about, Big Prepper. And I'm trying to remember the guy's name too, because I don't even think if I have him on the schedule, but there's a system through the national and state parks where they've aligned themselves with the FCC, and there's a program that they use to where they actually go out there and set up stations And then they try to talk to other stations. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a pretty interesting prospect. Let's see here. Good morning, Anarchy. Gibbsby says, I get distracted by shiny things and still learn to use the hammer out. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is these things, they're not that difficult. I think most people, it comes down to two things. It's all about repetition, learning that muscle memory, learning the menus, or making cheat sheets to use them. It's really that easy. And then some cases you need a license. I myself have a GMRS license. I don't really screw around with the all the other stuff. Let's see here. Bradley says, wow, 10 minutes late. Thanks notification. Thanks notification. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's see here. So we're going to go ahead. Looks like we've got everything we're going to get out of that subject right there. Andy says, PODA, Parks on the Air. There you go. That's the name of the program right there. Andy, are you the guy that's coming that's going to be doing that? Because it's kind of interesting. We probably need to coordinate that because I honestly had forgotten all about it. But I'm basically managing all the instructors and building websites and making deals with the biggest preparedness corporate companies on the planet, and I forgot all about it. But I want to see it. I want to see it. So anyhow, let's go ahead and move on to the next section. No, sir, I can't make it. Gotcha, Andy. No worries though, but thank you for the information. The next one are the ones that we think about all the time. Well, I wouldn't say we think about it. I would say that we use it all the time. Oh my goodness. Oh, coffee is so good this morning. Cell phones and text messaging. Now, we take this for granted because we use it so often, but there are applications. That's the other video I'm going to be making. It's going to be on Prepper apps that I use. But anyway, so SMS or MMS, text messaging can be more reliable than voice calls when networks are congested. Absolutely. When you send a text message, it's just this beep. It's just a burst of data. It's very small. It's very fast and requires almost no bandwidth. But when you call on a phone, on a cell phone, you're now basically, if you guys didn't know it, cell phones are basically radios. You're now using the radio waves to and from the different cell towers, nationwide or globally. And they suck up a lot of bandwidth. The other thing is smartphone apps. You can use emergency communication apps like Zello or Signal or WhatsApp for encrypted messages and calls. I don't have a problem with these kind of apps, but I just don't. I think it's foolish to believe that you're typing something that no one will ever see. But the thing is like, why would they want to see it? And why is it so important to you that what you're typing into a device that you are paying to use? Why would you even think that you have any semblance of privacy? So using those apps is a great way. You could literally, we used to have an app, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was end-to-end encryption. It was encrypted on all devices basically. And I had it on all of my kids' phones. So if I wanted to send them a message, if something was going down that I knew about, then I could send them that message, and I wouldn't worry about other people knowing about it. But in this day and age, it's just ridiculous. But the apps, they work. They do work, and there are other ones out there that you can use. Some are pay, some are free, to actually get your information out to people and to get information back, because your comm plan is based on information, that list of people and contact information, and then a place to connect. So we're going to take a look at the chat right now. Big Prepper says you can also use a slingshot to shoot up a fishing line tied to the rock to the highest branch of a tree and tow your extension cable up. way more convenient, but requires more skills. Yeah, that's true. How hard is it to get a ham radio license? Most people, it's really not that difficult. I think the hardest part of getting your ham radio license is the actual test itself, and not because the test is hard, because it's like any other test. You have to study for the test, and there's lots of apps out there that you can either study, you can take online courses. Some are free, some are not. I've found that there are apps out there for your ham license that you can just take these tests, all that have all of the questions that are on all of the different versions of the test. You just keep taking these tests until you always get an 80 or higher. What you'll do is you'll find out that you're going to be in the 90s range all the time. And then the hard thing is going to take the test, because it's got to be scheduled. There's got to be a proctor there. There's got to be all sorts of stuff. I know of people that have done it online in certain places where they have to have like a camera on their laptop, and then they have to have another camera that's watching them on a cell phone. And it's just this crazy rigmarole that's absolutely ridiculous. Let's see. It's like 50 or 100 questions test. Okay, good. So we're not actually talking about cell phones anymore. Gotcha. Andy says, I passed, so it wasn't hard. Signal is end-to-end encrypted. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate that. I think we actually do use Signal for a few things around here, but it's not something I touch every day. Matter of fact, for the Discord, isn't Signal my backup, or is it a different one? Because I'm supposed to do that test every month with everybody, and I keep forgetting to do it. Oh, let's see here. But here's the thing. Let me tell you one more thing about the radios instead of cell phones. Because nobody seems to give a squat about that. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. You take them for granted, right? But you could also get your GMRS license. Your GMRS license doesn't require any studying whatsoever. You just go to the FCC website, you give them $35, and they give you a license for, I don't know, 5-10 years, something like that. And then just get yourself a GMRS freaking license. Hicktown Honey Wire. Thank you very much. And their website is super, super clunky. But after about 48 hours, you get an email from them and saying, hey, here's your GMRS license. This is your magical number. So also they call that number your call sign. Anyway, let's see here. We're going to go ahead and move on to number 3, emergency and weather radios. Now, we kind of take this for granted because a lot of people don't even use radio anymore. It's kind of mind-blowing that they're still even in cars. So you've got NOAA weather radios, and then you have crank or battery powered radios. Now, with the NOAA weather radios, it receives broadcasts from the National Weather Service and other emergency alerts. What I always tell people is to buy, and I don't think I have one up here. I think it's still in my Faraday cage. It is. I like to buy these radios that are tunable, but also have a NOAA weather alert. That way, what'll happen is if an alert is in your area, like for instance tornadoes, that's the big thing. That radio will just fire up with an alert. It will just come on. It'll be like completely silent, and boom, it's on. But having the ability to tune to no weather station on these radios, you can buy them at Walmart for about $35. But once again, if you have a ham radio, you can just tune your ham radio to your local NOAA station and get the weather reports. Let's see here. GMR licenses for the entire family. That's true. Therema is end-to-end encrypted and based in EU, so EU privacy laws. Yeah, they're stupid. Let's see here. Hicktown Honey says, but you need a repeater close to you with GMRS. Well, here's the thing. There are lots of you can go to Repeater Book, and there are lots of GMRS repeaters. And here's the thing. Most of those repeaters are elevated towers, or should I say elevated stations. And they actually transmit or do retrans for a very large area once they're elevated. You can do GMRS on your Bofang. You don't have to have a GMRS radio, or you can just get a GMRS radio. And then, it's all about output. You can do GMRS up to 50 watts, people talk for 20 or 30 miles on these radios. You can buy a GMRS that runs on 12 volts at 50 watts. It's the same one you can put in your car, and 50 watts. I'm telling you, that's a lot of juice. That's a lot of juice. So you can talk for a good distance. Oh, let's see. I have no repeaters close to me in the sticks. Well, you know what you can do? You might want to look into, if you're into GMRS, you might want to look into setting up a permanent GMRS repeater station. It's not difficult. It's really not that difficult. Let's see here. Where we got here? Big Prepper says GhostNet is a good alternate communication network, but you have to buy the equipment and set up your network. It's more secure than any radio. I got you. And then home of the brave outdoors. Good morning, my friend. When I was working armored security, we used our own two-ways. For the most part, they worked well within the city and in buildings. Underground, the truck was a different story. Yeah, definitely. It's going to definitely be a different story there. Let's see here. Yes, build your own repeater. You can definitely do it. It's not difficult. Go to YouTube. YouTube will teach you anything. So, and then sticking with the theme here, crank or battery-powered radios. They're essential for receiving information when the power is out. Now, we're going to talk about alternate power sources at the very end of this video. But you having that crank radio, it's definitely good. You want to get the you just want to get the weather report. You just start cranking that radio and then tune it to where you want it, and you just keep cranking that radio, and it'll keep charging that battery. And then when you want to hear what you want to hear, you stop cranking and you just listen to it, and it's got more than enough juice for last for a couple of minutes. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and move on to one of my favorite subjects that no one talks about. I've had several YouTube channels. One of them was called The Retired Hiker. And I did a video on, when I first got into satellite communications, I did a lot of research, and there are paid services that you have to have with certain devices. To make that work, you just can't buy it and then no, there's a service that's attached to it. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It's like the phone company; they're going to get you no matter what. And so I actually do have a Garmin InReach as part of my communication plan, because I used to have it when I was doing a lot of hiking. And it was part of my communications plan for when I planned to hike the Appalachian Trail, which I never got to do. Sucks. But anyway, people talk about satellite phones. Okay. So first is global communications. It operates independently of cell towers, and it makes them useful in very remote areas or when traditional networks fail. Also, you can do text and voice devices, which is what I do. I don't do hey, how you doing? Talking on a phone kind of phone. I have a Garmin InReach. But this provides voice to text communication through apps that are on your phone directly to the device. And it really depends on what you're going after. See, there's a balance. All right. So satellite phones are not super expensive, but the service is. Text-based communications that are satellite centric. The devices are expensive, but the service is not. For instance, I only pay, I think it's $8 a month to maintain my service. Now you can buy bigger plans. Like mine was hey, I'm going to send you a text 3 times a day. That's all I'm really paying for. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also paying for the use of that emergency button if something goes wrong, things like that. But you can pay more money and have more texts. And the nice thing is what you can do is you can actually connect them to your phone, which does not require cellular service. And via Bluetooth, you can just text, and then it goes through that and up to the satellite. It's sent, then it's read, comes back. They send, and there's this process. It's not crazy at all, But it's a definite piece of prepper communications that nobody talks about, which is, it's mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me. That people are not, that preppers in general do almost nothing with satellite communications. So I'm going to take a sip of coffee. I'm going to take a look at the chat real quick. I got something stuck right there. Light Raider showed up. Good morning, my friend. Let's see here. Bradley says, I like the crank radio. I won in the drawing last year through LP. Comes in handy when fishing on the boat, so I don't have to risk my phone. I got you, bro. I got you. I remember that. Yeah, I used to give away a lot of stuff to the Patreons, and I'm trying to get back to that. I've got this plan where I'm going to start working for doing some very specific videos for the Patreons only. So hint, hint. Let's see here. Also, guys, if you're a Patreon and you're watching right now, I owe you guys a live Discord call. We're going to do that tonight. I'm trying to think here. What? 7:30. We're going to do it 7:30. Just so you know, I'm just saying. Live Discord call for Patreons only, 7:30. All right, let's see here. Bob says, I also like my crank radio. I used it not too long ago. Quick and easy. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, mine right now, I have still not got a lot of my comm stuff back out of the Faraday cage. When we had all those X-class flares that were hitting us, wasn't taking any chances. All right, let's see here. We're going to the Rumble. Let's see here. Where are we at here? Build your own repeater. Good morning. Oh, Good Boys Guild showed up. How you doing, girl? Let's see here. Hicktown said, I can't get past class 8 on the general technicians class. I definitely am not bright enough to build a repeater. No, it's just pieces and parts and then telling the FCC that you've got one and that you want to register it. That's it. And I'm not joking. It's click, 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 flip, flip, flip. FCC, I want to set this up. Okay, okay. And then they give you a call sign for your repeater and you're in the book. You probably need to do that first, though. But yeah, go watch the YouTube videos. I'm telling you, it is not difficult. It's not point and click, but literally, it's just connecting wires and tuning the repeater. It's nothing. It's nothing. I mean, if you can, I don't know. There's so many things in life that are much more difficult than putting a repeater together. Let's see here. I got to go learn the basics, though. If you want to pass. Focus on the right answer only. You can learn after you pass, really. Yeah, what I tell people when you're talking about taking that damn ham test is I tell people that, the classes are extremely boring. I tried to do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. What they told me to do, the people that have passed that thing have told me, get the damn free apps. There's 2 free apps. One's for the technician, and one's for the other one. Or general, maybe, I'm not sure. And just take those tests over and over and over and over until you get an 80% every single time. And then get it set up. Go take the test. Oh, let's see here. I got a thumbs up over here. And so we're going to move off of satellite radios and on to one of my personal favorites that no one uses anymore. Literally, I heard a guy on YouTube, a prepper in the space. He's got like 80,000 followers on YouTube, say these words. And I was just like, you're a freaking retard. He said that CB radios were dead. That's what he said. CB radios are dead. That's absolutely ridiculous. CB radios are not dead. You don't need a license to use them. They are plug and play. So, yeah. Where are you going? Channel 40? Let's go. It's that easy. Channel 40. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, CB radios are great for, having local communications and common channels. They're also still the radios that are used inside of semi-trucks. So if you're anywhere near an interstate, you're going to get information from these truckers. You know what I'm saying? It used to be in the day, it was very common to get on your CB radio and say, hey, man, hey, listen, I'm heading out towards I-5 right now. We got any cops out there? I got to make some time. And 12 truckers will come online and say, no, man, you're good to go. Kick ass. No call signs, no brevity codes. I mean, no nothing. You just get on there and talk. And you can pump a lot of watts through those things too before anybody goes crazy. So CB radios are not dead at all, and they're used primarily for short range communications. Basically up to 10 miles, and they're used among preppers, truckers, and outdoor enthusiasts. It's very common to have handheld CB radios. Once again, 40 channels, completely legal, and no license. And the thing is they have common channels too. Often use channel 9 for emergencies. Everybody knows channel 9's for emergencies, and channel 19 for general communication. So, it's just anybody who tells you CBs are dead, they are fools. They're absolute fools. So, matter of fact, when I get back to the old property, I have to set up the CB that I bought for I think it was like $6 I paid for it, for a modern CB radio that I just need a 12-volt system to hook to. It's freaking ridiculous. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and move on to another. That's not what I want to click. I want to click something. I want to click something over here. What am I clicking today? I think today we're going to click on, we haven't done anything for a while. Let's talk about EMP Shield real quick. And obviously I'm talking about them because they are one of the sponsors, one of the major sponsors of Prep Stock. They actually sent us 3 EMP Shield devices to give away to you, those people that show up at Prep Stock. Not a joke. They're in a box right over there. And so one of the things that we talk about is lightning protection from your house. Also, lightning strikes on a car, as well as electromagnetic pulses, as well as CMEs. And EMP Shield is the only device that's actually proven to protect your equipment. It's that easy. Everybody who tries to debunk them always fails every single time. So there's a savings code, $50 off if you use a LocalPrepper, all one word. There's a link in the description. I recommend that you go check them out. All right, guys, I think that's going to be about it for that. Let me go ahead and change my template to template number 3. Boom, there we go. All right, let's see here. We're going to go ahead and roll on here. I need to go. I got a couple things popping in the chat right here. Where Andy says CB is like 11 meters, I think. So in theory, with the right sun conditions, you can talk a long way. Yes, Andy's talking in radio hamhead speak, which I appreciate. But he's basically emphasizing that you can talk a long damn way on a CB radio. No license required. The equipment is less expensive, and you can set it up in a base station. You can run it in your car. Let's see here. Trucker clock who wants it. Laugh my ass off. Gotta love old Bob and Tom. Gotcha. CB sideband can talk from South Carolina to Canada. Now you know that. And Hicktown Honey says, I do have a CB, thankfully. Gotta love it. Okay, so let's see here. The next thing that we're going to talk about, ways of communicating or prepper communications, believe it or not, is social media. We rely on social media in this world to do a lot of things that we don't really we kind of take for granted. They offer real-time updates and they offer community groups. For instance, the Discord, that's a form of social media. The Patreon, that's a form of social media. Then you've got, everything from, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can get real-time updates on and facilitate group coordination as well. And then when you start talking about like community groups, you can join or form prepper-specific groups for sharing information and resources. I know that there are people out there that will set up a Facebook page specifically for their group. Oh, I got a cat doing some crazy stuff. Oh, he's attacking his own tail. He doesn't know what to do. I thought only dogs did that. But they'll actually set up their own little personal Facebook groups for their members only, so that they can relay information and they can communicate within that group. And while that is not the from the putting on the tinfoil hat perspective, that's not the smartest thing to do. I would obviously find a different way to do that. It's still one way that does work. Unfortunately, it's dependent on Facebook, and Facebook goes down 10 or 12 times a year, just dies. So it's something. It is something. And then obviously now we're starting to get into the nitty gritty, to the more Stone Age stuff. We're going to go and start with email. It offers documentation as well as offline access. And on the documentation side, it's useful for sending detailed information or instructions that can be referred back to. I often send myself notes via email to do certain things, like, hey, do this, hey, do that. And I just put it in the title. I send myself an email. And then when I make it back to the command center, I just kind of sit down and look through my emails. Oh, I need to go to this. Oh, and I need to go to that. It could be anything. Take out the trash, cook the supper, empty the Kindler box, sharpen your knives. It could be anything. So let's see. And then offline access, even if you're, in many cases, even if your cell phone is dead, or not dead, but you were offline, you can still access via offline email clients if internet connectivity is limited, but still available, which means in simpler terms, when things go down, sometimes emails go through. So let's see here. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to number 8, which is physical notes and bulletin boards. Believe it or not, those things still exist. In fact, it is federal regulation that there be a bulletin board inside of every post office. Not a joke. Go check it out next time. You can put things on it as long as you are not advertising. I think you're not allowed to advertise a business. If you want to like sell your car, or if you want to have a gathering, or have a car wash, you can do that. You can put yourself you can put a little note on their bulletin board, and they will not say one word about it. And I've actually seen people where I've seen businesses, but a lot of times they don't stay up very long. So it is a thing. It is a thing. Community centers or shelters to post updates and messages. With the bulletin boards, one of the things that happens is this kind of dates back to World War II, where things were getting, actually World War I, but things were getting destroyed. I mean, destroyed, families just disappearing. And so people are looking for their loved ones. And a lot of times what they would do is they would put a picture and they would write on it saying, we're on our way to Hamburg if you're looking for us. And then now the family member knows they were alive when they put this on the board, and now I'm headed to Hamburg. And so they would head to Hamburg and start looking for more bulletin boards. That's how that whole process actually came about. And then you've got community boards, which these are going to be the ones that you're. I'm sorry. These are the ones that you're going to find inside of community shelters and obviously post offices. So I'm going to go check the chat now. Let's see here. Bradley says, would you think snail mail would be something highly important to maintain in SHTF situation, or do you think it breaks down just as fast as everything else? That's difficult to say, because you really have to think about mail, the U.S. Mail Service, very similarly to the police department. If you are a U.S. postal worker and it's a true SHTF situation, all hell breaks loose, it is no longer safe for you to go to work, let alone go to work, it's not like you're going in the building and going to stay there all day. You're going to go out and you're going to move around in the public. So it's very easy to think that the postal services would shut down services due to security. And I think they've actually done that in the past and I can't remember when this happened, but basically it wasn't safe for them to be on the streets. So the postal workers stopped going to those areas until the police got things squared away. But yeah, I would think that, it's like, well, it's the U.S. Postal Service. It's the federal government. Neither rain nor snow nor nor sleet or dead of night or dark of night will stop me from making my appointed rounds. Some, it's like some fake oath they used to take or whatever. But I mean, I guess it's situational. I guess the answer is it's situational. I would not, if all hell broke loose, I don't know that I would depend on the U.S. Postal Service to get a letter to somebody. But you know what? It wouldn't hurt to write it and stick it in a mailbox. Take it down to the post office if it's safe to go there and do that kind of thing. It's almost kind of like apocalyptic thinking we're doing here. So, let's see here. Let's see. Hicktown probably didn't deliver it in that Chaz territory. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. I agree, Hicktown. Let's see here. Careful, I work for the Postal Service. Oh no. Ooh. Scary postal guy. I'm just messing with you, man. Bradley says, when they were talking about martial law around here during the start of COVID, I was given a letter of importance to postal services to get through checkpoints. Oh, I see. That's so they gave you some, they give you your papers. That's that. Hey, good to know, man. That's that's an interesting fact. So Bradley basically said that when they were talking about martial law, the post office issued papers to the postal service, to the postal workers that would get them through checkpoints. Oh my God, that's freaking crazy, man. That's crazy talk, Bradley. That's some crazy talk. Shouldn't you be out delivering the mail right now? Anyway. Love you, man. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to number 9, family emergency plans and code words. So there's actually 2 sections. Yes, my papers, they don't like us. They don't like us missing. So there's actually 2 sections to this. One is pre-established plans, which you should definitely have, and the other is code words. Now with pre-established plans, it's a detailed plan outlining communication protocols, meeting points, and code words for family members. When we talk about code words, these are specific words or phrases that convey the important messages quickly and securely. So in the military, we'll call them brevity codes. Brevity code is normally a word. For instance, if we were doing an operation and one of those things in that operation, let's say we're going to go and we're going to do a snatch and grab, and we've got to get this guy and get him to the LZ, so so we go in and we snatch this high value target up, and we've started to move to the LZ. Someone, so that in operations in the command level, knows that we got him. Maybe there's a series of code words that we're using. Maybe we're using basketball or baseball or football terms. Maybe we're using football teams. This is me. We're currently Atlanta. And Atlanta was the written down code word, was the established code word for we've got this high value target in our possession and we're moving. And maybe when we got him in the helicopter, and the helicopter took off, we would tell him, now we're Dallas. And that means that, hey, the high value target's now in the helicopter. And maybe when we are moving to the extract point, we're going to freaking tell them that we're I don't know, we're raiders, something like that. But you see what I'm saying? That's how these brevity codes work. They relay something that actually happened that is larger than what the word is, and everybody knows what that word means. So you would have to come up with something like that in your own world if you wanted to use these code words. Let's see here. Probably didn't deliver in that. Okay, so I think we're good to go on the chat. Maybe I talked a little too fast. Let's go ahead and do me a favor, guys. Go ahead and type that number 1 for me. Wake up. Let's go ahead and wake the chat up real quick. Get that algorithm thinking about things. And then we're going to move on to number 10, because number 10 is a little bit different, guys. A lot of things that people don't think about. While we're doing that, let's see, we're going to go ahead and push. Let's see, let's push this one right here. Once again, we're going to talk about one of the sponsors for Prep Stock. That's Augustin Farms, guys. Augustin Farms, I've got a code for you here. You're going to save $10. I don't want to hear about the shipping. don't complain to me about shipping. Okay. If you don't like buying directly from the company, buy from Amazon. That's easy. Okay. So with Augustin Farms, these guys make probably what I believe are some of the best freeze-dried food on the planet, 20-year food that I actually eat myself. I need to buy some more of the sausage. I love the crumbled sausage. And the chicken, the freeze-dried chicken's pretty damn good too. But yeah, this is the same thing with the that I was telling you guys about a couple days ago with the $10 off. That's per purchase. So if you buy one can, use the code, it saves $10 on that one can, which is basically almost half the price of it. And then make another order as soon as that one's done. You just keep using the code over and over, and you'll save oodles and oodles of money. And a lot of people don't even know about it. So Augustin Farms, one of the sponsors of Prep Stock, they actually sent us 6 number 10 cans of everything from eggs to beef and whatever. So, and we'll be giving those away at Prep Stock. If you're not there, you can't win. All right, we're going to change that template. We're going to hit over here. I see I have 6 comments. That's all number 1s. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you. Lightver says, me too. Viking Queens, I love Augustin. Yeah, the food is good. That's the thing, man. If you're going to stockpile food, like long-term food storage, 1, you've got to take care of it. You know, it's not going to take care of itself. But 2, when you open it, it should taste good. It should taste good. If the good tasting food in crisis situations, in stressful situations, is a tremendous morale builder. It's unbelievable. When you have good food, oh my God, when I was in the grunts, freaking, you end up, you get back from doing something or maybe just a heavy training routine. At the end of the day, you get that hot chow waiting for you back at the bivouac site. You're like, yeah, I ain't got to eat no damn cold MRE. I'm loving it. Having good food, good flavorful food is a huge morale booster. So something you need to think about with Augustin Farms. Let's see. Bradley says, I'm going to be ordering some this weekend, and I'll be happy to use your code a few times. Cha-ching. Let's see here. We like to snack on the apple slices. I tell you what, it's like one of the biggest prepper likes is the for pretty much any brand you buy are the banana slices. They're just good. I can just chew on those things. The only thing about the banana slices is I think they're only dehydrated. So they won't last 25 years, but you can probably get a good 5 years out of one of those number 10 cans with banana slices. Okay, so let's see here. The next thing we're going to talk about is what do I got here? I've got the appropriate template. Next thing we're going to talk about is hand signals and visual cues. Nobody talks about these. So you have your standard hand signals, and then you have visual markers. Now, standard hand signals, these are prearranged signals for nonverbal communications, especially useful in noisy or silent situations. Now, why do we need hand and arm signals? So we can communicate with people without making any noise. It's that easy. It's absolutely that easy. Place that I would start with the infantry manual, the Marine Corps patrolling handbook. I would start someplace there because they have lots of hand signals that tell you where the bad guy is, whether you're going to shoot, if you're going to stop, or if you're going to freeze. They and people, when you learn them and you use them, then people start to figure this stuff out. Also, visual markers. You can use flags, lights, or other visual signals to communicate messages or indicate status. For instance, if you're rolling up to pick somebody up, and it's an SHTF situation, you're rolling up to their house, and they've got the blinds in the kitchen window are closed. That could be a signal that bad people are in here. We're in here and bad people are in here. Things like that. Visual cues, signals, things to look for, but they've got to be known to everyone. Otherwise, they're useless. Let's see here. And then what do we got here? We've got some additional notes. Let's see here. What's going on in the chat? Preston says, what about setting up your own personal FM station transmitter? Not that expensive on Amazon. You got to watch out for that, because those are what they call rebel radio stations. Is if unless you have a license to transmit on a frequency that requires a license, then you're going to get yourself in trouble. There was actually somebody who was charged and arrested last week for having a rebel radio station. Miss Melody says the baked banana bread using the dehydrated bananas. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Cool Quote says he's lurking in the dark. He's darn walk. All right, let's see here. So I had some initial notes about all these different things, because we don't think about the full spectrum of what we're talking about sometimes. And one of them is backup power, and this is going to ensure that communication devices have backup power sources, such as batteries or solar charges. Maybe it's one of those. Maybe it's one of those things right there that I'm beep, beep. Maybe it's one of those. I recommend people do get them. I am a sponsor. If you want a code, let me know. I'll tell you what it is, but I don't really push it because they're expensive. They are not cheap. But if I can save you a penny or two, I'll definitely try and help. Also, practice. Regularly practice using these communication methods to ensure everyone in the family is familiar with them. It's really important. It's really important. I mean, everybody knows how to use these, so this is not a big thing. I would do something very similar to, hey, once a month, we just break out the UV5Rs and we talk for 5 minutes. And then we say, all right, everybody break. We'll meet you at China Garden. Roger, China Garden, click. Then everybody turns their radios off and they all go to China Garden and they have a day. And then also something to think about too is encryption. So for sensitive information, consider using encrypted communication methods to maintain privacy and security. Now, the real question is who are you keeping yourself private from? Because not everybody can see your Facebook messages, okay? Not everybody can see your text messages. All right. So use a little bit of logic on this. It's like, why do you really need it? And if you believe you do, then go forward and do good things. But if you don't, then don't waste any time on that kind of crap. Let's see here. And obviously licensing. Some communication methods like ham radios may require a license. Ensure you comply with local regulations. My mentality for years has been, I own all these radios. If it's not illegal to own them, it's not illegal to listen to them, but it may be against regulations to speak on them on a certain frequency if I don't have a license. So only use the frequencies that you are licensed to use or can use freely and without breaking the regulations. But also remember that the FCC regulations are very specific in that if there is an emergency, you can use any frequency necessary to get help. Now, the key thing to take from this is that these methods that we've talked about so far provide a range of options to stay connected during emergencies, SHTF, so on, crisis, whatever you want to call it, whether you're dealing with local incidents or broader disruptions. So you've got the tools. I've given you the list of the tools, of the things that you can do and use. Let's go ahead and go to the chat real quick. Bradley says, Miss Melody, you can send me the recipe for that in Discord. That sounds delicious. Making that banana bread. Deborah says, don't forget to click the thumbs up for LP. Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And then what we got here, and the Miss Melody says, yep, give me a little bit. I've got to find it again. Take a screenshot of it in a while. Gotcha. Going to get that recipe out to him. Okay, guys, so we've been going at this for almost an hour now. As usual, if you like what I'm doing, hit that thumbs up button. I would hope that you do if you've been here for that long. And don't be a slacker. I hate slackers. Slackers suck. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. You might also want to check to make sure that the notification bell has been tinged for all videos. Ba-ting! And then, you know, obviously, if you want to contribute to the channel, you want to support the channel, there are links below. I'm really looking for more Patreons. I'm going to start giving away a lot more Patreon stuff. I'm going to start doing more stuff in the Patreon. And honestly, I'll probably start doing less stuff out here in the open because I only have so much time in my day. But yeah, it's going to be good to be a Patreon here in the next few weeks. All right, guys, I think that's going to be about it. Don't forget PrepStock, prepstock.net. Stay safe. Have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.